Hello everyone, I am Lolly. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to look at what to do with your little pin that you take out of your glue bottle when you are working on your project and you lose your pin on the table. Now I have one previous video where I had made little gummy bear tips for it, and that had really helped. I need to make some more because recently what happened was I made a mistake and I allowed this to get so clogged that when I pulled on the gummy bear, he broke free, bless his little heart. So what we're going to do now is make ourselves a little holder for this. I also have all my extra pins in here, and so I needed a container to hold the pins and hold my loose one. Now you notice with these prescription bottles that they have that lock feature. If you don't like that, we can cut this off, be careful, or you can turn this upside down and screw it in this way and it doesn't have the lock feature, but your pin is not going to fit in there as well. So it'd be, yeah. So, and also the pins would fit in here if we took them out of these little tubes, and I kind of like those little tubes. So first thing we're going to do is use these magnets. Now these are really powerful magnets. They are separated by these nice little washers here. Under this video, I'll give you a link to where I got mine. And I think let's pull a new pin out that we can test with, because I don't want to keep the pin out of my glue bottle while I'm doing this. Okay, now you will see that either side it's going to be magnetized just fine. So we're going to take our magnet, and you want something really permanent and strong like Power Tack. Do not use hot glue, please. That's not going to be permanent on a metallic surface like this. This is full permanency in about 24 hours, but within 20 minutes, it will have a nice hold on it. Now, the issue I have too is this, underneath this, my glass mat is magnetic, so this is also going to stick to that, so I have to be careful. I don't like the look of this, so I just cut a 1 1/4 inch circle out on my Cameo. So we want to glue this to that. You can use your Fabri-Tac. You can use, some of your 3-in-1 glues if that's what you want to do. Since I have this out, we're just going to go ahead and use it. Now I'm smushing down so that it's flat and not leaving big clumps of the glue. And when I turn that over, it's just going to cover that up. Now, you could make this as decorated as you want. You can use decorative cardstock. My goal in doing this is I want this to be rather a plain but solid top. And that way I can really see when I have my pin on there better. You see that? You could see that so easily. Okay, now with the magnet in there, are these going to be too tall is my next question. No, it still fits, but I wouldn't screw that on there until this was permanently adhered. Now, if you don't have medicine bottles, or if your bottles are not tall enough, take your pins out and put them directly into the bottle. And so now when I'm crafting, I can put my pin there and I don't lose it. This was a Wow embossing powder jar. It already has a really pretty lid liner. Or what you could do is take that lid liner out, put it in the bottom. Now I need to clean my powder out here, but you could take this out. It's kind of a pressed foam. You could take that out and put it in the bottom, and that way it protects the points of your pins. And then you have a nice clear lid. Okay, so here we have it. I would trace this onto really pretty cardstock, put the cardstock in there, and then put this, you have to trim it down a little bit to fit the bottom in there, or you can just measure this and cut a circle that size. Okay, I like this. This is actually an old Julie Nutting cardstock. Let's see. And I think although it's busy, there's no color on it, and I like that. Now you know when you trace and cut, what you're actually tracing makes it a tiny, tiny bit bigger. So if you cut just inside your pencil line, you're going to have a more accurate representation of that circle. I'm using my nail to kind of smush it into the crease there, and I think that is really pretty. Just like that. Oh, that's gorgeous. Glue that in there. I'm going to let that set, and then I'm going to rinse this out, and then we'll cut this to size. Okay, here we go. Now I can see that I need to cut this down quite a bit, but just tracing it around here is not going to give me a totally accurate representation because we're measuring the outside diameter of this plastic when actually the inside is ever so small, bit smaller than that. So I'm just going to trim off teensiest bit here and make this nice and smooth. Oh, looks good. Oh, that was good on the first time. I think I will leave it that way. And so now when we put our pins in there without their jar, you can see how that they just kind of stick into that little styrofoam there and the tips won't get damaged. There we go. Okay, so now we have two jars here, and which one do you prefer? I think, of course, this one's prettier. But if you want to be able to hold your pins in their original little jars, this would be great. But both of them are fine, and I think this is so pretty. I think I love them both. Thank you for watching. I hope that little tip helped you in keeping your pins organized in your craft area.